You know, for years, we've all looked at Blackbeard the same way: greedy, ruthless, evil for the sake of evil, betraying Whitebeard, offering ace to the Marine to be executed, stealing two devil fruits and killing his own crewmate in the process, and building one of the most terrifying crew in the whole One Piece world. I mean, they are terrifying. We all assume he was doing that out of ambition, the simple story of a pirate who wanted to conquer the world no matter the cost. But with chapter 1159, all that was thrown into chaos. Because what if Blackbeard stories has never been about ambition at all? What if every betrayal, every alliance, every dark move that is made has been about one thing and one thing only: revenge? With chapter 1159 out, it gave us something that fans been waiting for decades: a clearer picture on who exactly Rock D. Zepek is, or should I call him David D. Zepek. And he wasn't the monster that the world government made us thought he was. No, he wasn't a bastard. He was not a dickhead. He was just a father, a husband, desperately trying to save his family. And the world government staged a massacre, saying that they wanted to hunt down people in God Valley because they had the nerves to call themselves God. No, they staged that massacre in order to hunt down the remaining member of the Devi clan. And here's the kicker: Roger and Gob weren't the mastermind behind it. They didn't know. They unknowingly took part of that. They unknowingly prevented Zebex from going there and saving his family. And from Blackbeard's perspective, that changes everything. Because the man that the world calls legend, the Pirate King, the hero of the Marine, they stood in the way of his dad saving him and his mom, and possibly saving his homeland. His father was killed, his mom was hunted down, his people were enslaved, his whole childhood erased from history. Bro, that is not ambition fueling the guy. That's trauma. And think about what trauma does to somebody. Some people break under it. Some people are crushed by it forever. But to teach? Nah. He sharpened it into a blade. So if Luffy is the dreamer chasing freedom, then Blackbeard is the dark mirror chasing vengeance. Because Luffy wants to protect his family. No, he wants to protect his friends. Blackbeard wants to avenge his family, which is perfectly understandable after what everything happened to him, after what we learned from chapter 1159. And suddenly, every move that he's made is starting to look different. Killing Touch for the Yami Yami no Mi, betraying Whitebeard, breaking into Impel Down in order to recruit people. And it wasn't just grabbing power for the sake of power. Nah. Bro is building an arsenal that he's gonna need to destroy the whole system that erases his whole homeland and possibly kill his whole family. And this is where it cuts deep, bro. This is where it cuts deep. We all celebrate Roger as the Pirate King, and we respect Garp as the hero of the Marine. But through Teach's eyes, they are not heroes at all. Because think about it. They were the men that stood in the way of his dad. Last chance to saving his whole family. They didn't intend it. Yeah, they didn't intend it. Probably didn't know what was going on. But it doesn't matter to Teach. No, just the results do. And just so you know, Fate has a sick sense of humor. Because years later, who ends up in Blackbeard's path? Ace, Roger's son, Gob's adopted grandson. So maybe handing Ace over to the Marine wasn't just a strategy for him to raise to the warlord status. Nah. I think it was personal. A twisted act of revenge against the family of the man who unknowingly sealed his father's fate and his homeland. And that brings us to Luffy. What does Blackbeard feel like Luffy's natural enemy more than anyone else? Yes, they are both D members. They both chase the Pirate King crown. Maybe it's deeper than that, bro. Because to Teach, Luffy isn't just another pirate. He's Gob's grandson, the bloodline of the man who helped destroy Zebek's dream and destroying his homeland. By extension, Blackbeard's life too. So the animosity that animosity is not random. It's personal. So when Luffy and Blackbeard clashed It's a collision between two families, two legacies, two answers to the same question. What do you do with inherited will? And this is what makes Teach so fascinating as a character. Because Luffy's dream is inherited from Roger, inspiring but idealistic. Blackbeard's motivation, it's raw, it's human, it's anger, it's loss, it's resentment. It's Eren Yeager 2.0. And here's why it feels so layered. He's not just a villain who laughs loud and schemes in the dark. Nah. He's the embodiment of the shadow side of the Wheel of D. Where Luffy carries joy, we got Teach carrying grief. And where Luffy builds family, Teach wants to avenge his family. The same coin flipped on different sides. Bro, that's deep, bro. That's deep. Just think about it. Everything that is done. With just one chapter, it changed everything that we knew about one character. So maybe this is where Oda has been leading us all along. The final war isn't just Pirate King's rival clashing. No. Nah, it's probably bigger than that. I think it's freedom versus vengeance. Joy versus resentment. Dream versus trauma. And here's the wildest twist of all. What if Blackbeard is the protagonist, the true protagonist all along? Not a true hero, but the man whose stories define the era. A boy whose fate got changed when Roger and Gob stopped his dad. And now, a man willing to burn the entire world to settle the score. I'm starting to side with the guy. I'm starting to side with Blackbeard because after chapter 1159, I'm going to side with him. I'm going to be a Blackbeard fan. And let me ask you this. If Blackbeard turned Ace over to the Marine, not as a strategy, but as a revenge against Roger's bloodline, if his animosity towards Luffy is tied to Gob's role in God Valley, then who is Blackbeard really? Is he the greatest villain in the One Piece universe? Or the most tragic protagonist we never realized we had all along? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're as deep as I am, make sure to like and subscribe because we're not done unraveling the story of Blackbeard in the One Piece world. I'm going to keep on digging deeper and deeper into his story and make sure to unfold things that we probably need right now because Blackbeard is turning to become one of the greatest written character in the One Piece. And bro, I think we're starting to get our Eren Yeager 2.0, man. Eren Yeager 2.0 is coming to One Piece. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot for being here.